deep in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the Best of the Outdoors podcast, brought to you by Texas Fish and Game Magazine, the voice of the Texas outdoor nation. I'm your host, Dustin Warncke, joined today with Mr.
Your other brother, Dustin.
Other brother, Dustin, that's right.
Dustin Ellermann.
Another mother, Dustin Ellermann, that's right. So we just finished range day today, and I'm super excited about what we found, and we just wanted to kind of do a wrap-up show of what we found at range day. And Dustin got to shoot a lot. I got to film Dustin shooting.
Range day's the best
I got
day.
to shoot, yeah, exactly. I got to shoot him shooting, but I shot with a camera. You shot real guns and air guns. The
Crossbows.
That's right. And I'm really, folks, everybody kind of asked me after last year, they were kind of like, well, did you want to shoot some of the guns, or did you, I'm like, dude, I'm cool to let Ellermann do it because he's like the Top Shot Season 3 winner, and it's just this incredible marksman. I mean, it's my pleasure to watch you do your thing.
Well, it's my pleasure to shoot and let you watch me do my thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So, first place we hit up was Walther's booth.
Yeah.
And what do we find there?
Well, I've liked Walther for a while because, honestly, it was the James Bond thing in the past, okay? As a kid growing up, that had to be a cool gun. But I think they're really underrated in the firearms community. Yeah. I guess they didn't have the marketing budget in years past, because the PPQ series are really a great gun, and they're accurate. They've got a slick action. They got a great trigger, and the ergonomics are great too. Now, recently it was the P99 series, and then the PPQ was made for the North American market because Americans didn't like the paddle release the Europeans use. I do.
I'm used to that too.
Yeah, and so I find people don't use their trigger finger to use it. They try to utilize your thumb, and it don't work because that's not how they're designed. Anyway, the point is, we went in there and they had their competition series, which I didn't get a price point on it, but they've got them with 5-inch barrels and the polished. The triggers are great already, but they put an anti-friction coating on it. And that makes it even better. They got little beefed up sights, and now the red dot platforms, which I love shooting red dots because you can be so much more precise.
Yes.
And a little faster in transitions.
Sure.
Your acquisition is a little slower without the training, so you repeatably draw in the same spot.
Sure.
Anyway, that was fun to shoot those a little bit, and then they had their tactical version, threaded, yay for suppressor, and in a little shorter barrel, and then they also have their brand new chopped off one. It's called the PPQ SC, just for subcompact.
Subcontact.
So
right. I saw that too.
they just chopped it both ends. The barrel's a little bit shorter, the grip's shorter, so your pinky hangs off, but you can put that second extended magazine in and have a full grip. I was really hoping to see, they released an email like a week ago, if even, about the PPS, so that's their slim one. Single stack, great ergonomics on that, but in the M2, I have a PPS M1 that I wore the finish plumb off. The ergonomics weren't as good, but see, everybody went freak out mode when Springfield brought out their XDS. It's a single stack. The Smith & Wesson did their Shield. A single, great for concealed carries, first ones. Now, Walther had the PPS out years ahead.
Sure.
Just no, it is a well-kept secret. Right. Anyway, the PPS is M2 is a good one. They released email with pictures of it with a red dot sight on it. And I'm like, so you can slim it, you can put that red dot, but they're not going to bring it out till the NRA show. So,
we were a little disappointed, or Dustin was a little disappointed.
I was trying to stuff it in my backpack, but it's not even there.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. So, the Q5 Max and the Q4, right?
Yep.
That we talked about, so that's cool. And then we also went to the STI guns, which is they're based right here in Texas. I introduced Dustin Ellermann to these guys last year, and I know he shot their guns before in Top Shot, I think, right? Is that what you said?
I think so. It was one of the
competition shoots. So that all being said, I wanted him to get some range time with a DVC, and they have the new DVC Omni and the DVC Open. You got to shoot both of those, right?
Yes, and they're slick. They're slick guns. We started with that Omni, and as I said, what they did on the Omni is, does it mean all or everything?
Right.
They put all the things that they get the most popular request for on their, their line, and with their muzzle brake, and that you have the sight is solid on the barrel along
Right.
with the muzzle brake, so it doesn't move, and it has some slick texturing. And so I started with that, and it was just one flat shooting smooth gun. But then, what was the other one called? Their competition open.
The Open, yeah.
Yeah,
DVC
crud. That
Open.
got even better. And just amazingly flat shooting, just pepper away on the same target.
Yeah.
It just
you did.
repeats right to it.
Just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
When you were popping off those rounds, I was like, man, this guy's good.
That's like cheating.
The gun that good. And I mentioned that yesterday on yesterday's show that I did a solo show on, that they've got some of the best, smoothest performing 1911 frame style guns that I've experienced in the past. I mean, I think. For custom 1911, the 2011 is their own proprietary one as well, so they carry both.
So these are these competition 9mm.
Competition 9mm. I mean, high end, and I mean they're really, really, really good guns. So definitely check those out. So
yeah, that'd be on. I wouldn't mind owning one of those at all.
No.
Those are slick.
Those are nice.
It's not going to be a concealed carry gun, but you want to show off, man.
Right.
That's one to
Right.
do it with.
Right. And we have videos of all these. They're not going to be coming out right away. This is going to be something we're going to drip out to our Texas Fish and Game audience over the next few months. And we did get video of these two companies' guns in action. And then we stopped off at Black Rain Ordinance. They have something, an AR-10 that shoots 22-250.
Exactly. And what they had to do for that was they had to design a special magazine.
Right.
And so it's a billet magazine. So it's real sturdy, and in fact, I dropped it out on my pinky, and that hurt. I dropped it out. It's hard and heavy and sturdy, but so I guess they're single stacking in there. It looks it's a lot different than just your cheapo AR-10 PMag,
Right.
and I said that's where most of the design went, was to get the magazine to work, and but that was flat shooting as well. Yeah, it was just. They had the action target hostage heads, moving back and forth in silhouette at 100 yards. It was just ping pong, ping pong, ping pong.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that was like
So,
that'd be a varmint terror upper there.
yeah, so your coyotes, your bobcats, your prairie dogs. You're a big prairie dog guy. Any of those kind of your raccoons. I mean, your varmints. Those kind of the predators and that kind of stuff. That's a really good weapon. My father-in-law likes to shoot deer in the neck, does especially, with a 250, and he thinks that's just the coolest gun because it shoots so flat.
Yep.
He's taken a turkey, was shooting it at the base of the neck while it's still walking at like 175 yards with that gun.
Wow.
I mean, a moving shot with a 22-250, and that's just wow. So
I guess that's legal.
Yeah, yes. Well, it depends on what season. But yeah, he's shooting in a legal season, but with a rifle. But he's got some incredible stories with this 22-250. So that's a heck of a round, and I don't think it gets as much press as it should. I mean, there's so many other different rounds that are out there that are flat shooting and that are tiny, small diameter. But anyway, there's my 2 cents for that.
I wouldn't mind having that one either.
Yeah. Let's talk for a minute about Franklin Armory. Am I saying that right?
Man, I'm drawing a blank, but that sounds right.
Yeah, Franklin.
As a new Reformation gun that it created a lot of buzz this week on social media and such. And well, the deal is they're using their binary trigger, and I forgot what their proprietary name is for their binary. But if you aren't familiar with the binary trigger, it's a trigger that fires when you pull the trigger, just like any other gun, it fires. But then, so it has a setting so that when you release the trigger, it fires again. So it's got a standard semi setting. It's got a safe setting, but it's got this kind of push-pull setting.
Right.
And so that allows the user to double tap extremely fast, or just if you would do the normal motions of a double tap on a semi-automatic, it would be a quad tap on this. So they had one for AR-15s, and they had an MP5 one binary trigger that they had, and they had one on an ACR. So, but the main deal is, besides binary triggers, they've been around for a little while. It seems neat. I haven't tried to shoot it in a controlled group, or I think double tapping 3-gun is a big, that's pretty much how you run a 3-gun. It's just 2 hits on the target.
Right.
But I'm sure binary triggers are frowned upon in the 3-gun
competition,
world.
3-gun shooting, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but anyway, in that kind of realm, it it could be popular just shooting for fun. But the big deal of what happened is kind of is more on the lawyer and researching side of Franklin Armory, in some letters to the ATF. Now, this is all what I've learned online. So tomorrow they're actually releasing their legit press statement as at an official product launch.
Okay.
At the SHOT Show floor. But from what I can gather, the deal is the ATF back all the whole NFA Firearms Act, banned machine guns and all that jazz, or at least heavily restricted them, regulated them. Describes a machine gun as something that, fires more than one round per pull of the trigger, per movement of the trigger.
Okay.
So since ATF says, well, pulling is one action and releasing is another. So that's not a machine gun. It's not even, and technically it's not even a firearm or a rifle. It's not a rifle. So an SBR, if you go under 16-inch barrel, you would have to have a tax stamp.
Right.
Okay, but since the binary trigger is kind of like new ground.
Right. It's brave new world.
So it's not technically a short-barreled rifle, and so you can have a shorter than 16-inch barrel on this firearm. Since it takes two movements of the trigger to fire two shots, a push and pull, it's not a short-barreled rifle because it's not a rifle. It's just a firearm on unprecedented ground, pretty much.
That nobody's ever done before.
On
a mass scale
production. Yes. On an official, this is a product.
Right.
And so the deal, what that means to the consumer is you don't have to pay the ATF to take this home from the gun shop.
Right.
So you don't have to wait 9 months for your infringement stamp, as I call it.
No tax stamp.
Yeah, no tax stamp. It's just a firearm. Wow. But even though it's a rifle firearm with a shorter barrel, by the technical ATF definition, it's not an SBR.
Oh boy.
So I thought, really, I was dubbing this, and they call it the Reformation. I call it the loophole. but
loophole could be used as a liberal term too. So we got to be careful with that.
I'm all for less infringements.
I know.
So
I agree.
It's interesting to see where this goes.
Right. No, that's good. One of the folks you recognize was D3 LLC.
Correct.
And explain do you know what that acronym stands for?
Nope.
Okay.
But
it's something with desert something or other.
Oh yeah, desert tactical. No, it's not. It sells another friend.
The desert something or other. Anyway, it's a gun company that they manufacture. What do we do there? I forget.
Well, it's all suppressed stuff. And you know how I like shooting stuff quietly because I think being loud is rude. And when you have quiet guns, you don't have to worry about disturbing your neighbors and your neighbors calling the sheriff because all them noise.
Right.
So
you shoot a lot of suppressed guns.
I do. I
watch a lot of your YouTube videos.
And honestly, I think it's just because of where I live. The camp where I live is located by a lake community, and it's desert design and development.
Okay, desert design and development.
Yeah, that's the D3 LLC.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you look that up,
you're
but
cool.
I totally forgot.
So I like shooting suppressed just as being a polite neighbor.
Okay.
And so these guys make some, but they do it. What they started with was their AR 9mm, and they were going after kind of duplicating the MP5 SD, the Navy SEAL one where it's fatter and integrally suppressed, but it's also ported. So their deal was being able to shoot all sorts of ammo and not having to spend the extra cash to shoot the heavier subsonic stuff.
Oh, that's right.
And
now that's coming back to me.
I totally love that idea because, investing in a gun is one thing. But for those of us who like to shoot, we can easily shoot 5 times the value of the gun and ammunition in a year or two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this allows you to shoot more and stay quiet with even supersonic 115 grain ammo. Now I said that their design was over the MP5 SD. They were copying that, but what they did is they made that same kind of barrel design. So it's integrally suppressed AR-15 in 9mm. So it's it's an integrally suppressed 9mm upper. It's a ported barrel, so it's stinking quiet. Now it's not a suppressor because it's integrally suppressed. You can't just throw it on another can. It's just the firearm itself, but you can shoot anything through it and stay subsonic quiet.
One of the things was at that exhibit place that we went to that had the Ruger.
That's right, the Mark III.
The Ruger pistol that was integrally suppressed.
It was integrally suppressed as well.
And we were shooting regular CCI loads, right?
Well, here's the thing. Now, CCI standard, that's what we started with.
CCI standard, that's what I mean.
It's subsonic in even rifles.
Okay.
And that's what we shoot at camp. But what they did to demo their integrally suppressed pistol, what do they call it? I forgot what they called it. It's got a cool name, but
I forgot to.
Yeah, it's the Mark III, and it's a good bit shorter than any of the other guys on the market. Like I think they one of the competitors has a 12-inch long one,
right?
And theirs is like 6.
4, I think is what they said.
Well, it's a 4-inch barrel.
4-inch barrel,
about 6-inch overall with the suppressor.
Right.
But again, how they do this is they doing like they did on their AR, where they port the barrels. And so, what he did to demonstrate this, he put CCI mini mags in it, which would totally be supersonic, hypersonic way out there, even in a pistol, and it wasn't. It was still subsonic.
Stinking quiet,
yeah, so that totally means you can grab any bulk box stuff,
right?
Which and so it'll be even just as quiet and fun to shoot.
So that saves money over time.
Over time.
I mean, obviously,
Absolutely.
just like we talked about, you'll burn up the value 5 times over of a gun if you like to shoot it a lot. For your range time, I mean, that's going to be a lot more affordable practice and a lot more affordable, just fundamentals with kids. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with a system like that.
And integrally suppressed guns look cool. They're sleek.
I don't have any integrally suppressed firearms. I have integrally suppressed air guns, and but I see exactly what you mean because they're just. I mean, you don't have to do anything special. They're just thinking quiet, like you like to say all the time. So, no, that's really good. I wanted to also bring up our friends at Desert Tech. I've mentioned them on the podcast for the NRA show and some other things that I've done in the past. You got to shoot the MDR 223?
Finally, yeah.
223 or 308?
I did the 223.
223, okay. So it comes in 223 or 308, completely modular, but as we say in the video about this, not modular the way you think of an AR-15. It's a completely different platform.
Yeah, and absolutely modular.
Very modular. Bullpup design, so the magazine and the trigger are in the back. It's 16-inch barrel. Am I saying that right? Okay.
That's right.
So there's nothing
special. But in a package, that would be probably, compared to AR, 10-inch, 12-inch barrel.
Short, yeah. I mean, really, really amazing. So, I mean, it's a really short package. It's really, easy to use, and it shot really well for you. Also ambidextrous.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the modularity, though. 308 and 223 in the same rifle receiver.
Yes.
And so, see, I was thinking like an AR-10/AR-15. So, sure, it's modular if you want to put 300 blackout and 223 in the same one. But no, this is 308 in the same frame as well. And so you just have a magazine insert that you put in. Say you bought the 308 one first, and your 223 one would just cover the new bolts and magazine insert and, of course, the barrel. And, yeah, it's ambidextrous as well. Because it's bullpup, those casings are going to come out kind of by your face.
Right.
And toolless swap over. Just you pop the side plates out and switch them, and that's it. And
he did it for us to show us
several
how
times.
easy it was. Yeah, I was like, holy smokes, this is crazy.
And some guns, they kind of seem to copy other guns. This one, you can tell, is like they just kind of went from scratch. Now, some stuff kind of imitates a Tavor, where the controls, like say the bolt catch but it's just because of the location, because it's on the bullpup back there.
It's its own animal. I mean, it's amazing. So if you've never looked up the MDR, I think it's modern something or other. I forget what it stands for. Modern something rifle, modern dynamic rifle or something like that. I forget what it stands for, but it has been one of the most anticipated rifles to come on the market as of last year. They had such an order list for it, they could hardly fulfill all the orders and really release it to the public officially. And from what I understand, and I mean, they really just are having a lot of success with that gun.
I remember my first shot show like 6 years ago. All it was a 3D prototype.
Right.
We have a 3D printed prototype on the wall.
And then obviously Desert Tech also has bolt action, and I talked about this last night on last night's show. You could switch from 308 to a 300 Win Mag in probably under a minute if you really know what you're doing. And they're bolt action modular, rifles that they have. And they're also bullpup, where the bolt and everything's in the back, magazine, everything like that. And,
pretty slick.
I mean, really slick. So, no, it's really good. Anything else you want to say? I want to talk about Axeon and Umarex today.
Oh yeah, Axeon stuff's pretty cool.
Okay, so Axeon, new optics. I don't know how to
Optic
explain this.
accessory.
Optic accessory from the folks that do Umarex air guns and Axeon. I guess it's optics or it's optic accessories, but they really are cutting edge stuff. Explain that to us a little bit.
Yeah, it's completely different, and I saw a press release and I was intrigued by it. So I was happy to be able to actually test it on the range. And what it is well, it's just a second lens that you put in front of your optic. And so they had it on both red dots and magnified optics.
Right.
And they construct these lenses with a slight shift in angle. And so say you had your rifle set up on a vise. You're looking downrange at your target.
Right.
Depending on which lens you get is how much the lens shift would be and your image shift would be. But say you have your reticle, focused right on your bullseye. You flip this lens up, which is just honestly just a lens, another piece of glass.
Yes.
It's at an angle, but you can't tell that by looking.
Right.
It just looks like another clear piece of glass. You flip it up, and then all of a sudden your crosshairs are 12 inches lower at 100 yards.
Oh.
And so this is giving you, now these are constructed, either they have like a commercial offering that'll be, hey, this is for your 300 yard zero, this is for your 500 yard, and it shifts it. Like I was shooting the 500 yard one, it was like 11 point something MOA, that for 80% of calibers and rifles out there would shift. If you had a 100 yard zero on your optic, you could flip this, you put this lens in front of your scope, and instantly it puts you within 8 inches of where the majority of 500 yard zeros would be. And so we did it right there. I shot one plate at 100. I flipped that lens down, and I shot this steel ram at 500. Just like that. It was a 6.5 Creedmoor or something.
Yeah,
I don't even know
you
what it was on.
punched the crap out of it too.
Yeah, and so I just had fun flipping the lens up and down, looking through the scope.
Right.
Now it's not going to be for everyone. Okay,
No.
Long-range, serious precision shooters are going to want to dial it in, and we know the difference of just weather makes a difference in what your bullet's going to drop. But the innovation behind it is really neat, and you don't have to think of it as, oh, it's just a 500 yard zero. No, you could also custom this. Say you want it for 300 or whatever, and you knew your exact MOA. They said they could make it for you, and it's under $100. Maybe not a custom one, but
that price point's incredible for something that innovative, I guess is the right way to say it.
Yeah, and here's something I was thinking is, well, they mentioned it as well. Say for your 300 blackout. Supersonic and subsonic.
Yep.
So for subsonic, I flip my lens up, and all of a sudden I have a perfect 100 yard zero for my subsonic ammo.
That's a great point.
A 3-gun competition could do that.
I didn't even think about a silence versus suppress versus live.
Because I know my 300 blackout drops with my supersonic zero. I got like a 16-inch difference at 100 yards.
Oh, I believe it. I've heard a lot of stories about that too.
Yeah, so you could just flip it up and be dead on. I could see it being of use in 3-gun, although the rules would probably screw it up.
Right.
But if you wanted if you're doing something up close at 100, and then you just flip that thing up, and then you're dead on for your long range 500 yard shots, and you could even hold under at 300.
Right.
It's neat. It's neat, and I appreciate innovation in this firearms industry.
Yeah, because so many things have been done or overdone or rehashed, or it's a better mousetrap. This is something I think kind of out of the box.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just stuff that nobody's really thought of, to that degree, I guess.
And it's going to work with any optic at all.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. So before we end the show, I wanted to also talk about Umarex. The hammer, which is the new
50 cal
PCP and multi what do you call it, clip as well, so it has two shots instead of one like you have with an Air Force air gun, or a
quick follow-up shot.
Yeah, a quick follow-up shot if you need it. It's a 50 caliber. I'm not sure how many shots come to, because I get asked that question all the time. How many shots come per fill?
It's going to start dropping, but they were doing it every 2. They were refilling just because they could.
Just for accuracy and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they had a lot of tanks there too, but really innovative. If you listen to this podcast at all, folks, I love air guns. I mean, I as the host of the show, I've covered a lot of air gun stuff, but it keeps getting better. because that gun is stinking quiet on top of being that powerful.
Yeah, I've shot some. I forgot the Yiming or whatever.
Yes, the Dragon Claw.
You need to wear ear pro for that mess.
Yep.
These,
yep.
I mean, there's still some noise. It ain't 22 suppressed, quiet,
right.
but it's a big improvement. And
it is. I mean, it's just compared to other air guns that I've shot over the years. I'm just like, it's like it's interly suppressed.
Did you get to shoot it?
No, I didn't. I didn't shoot that one. But
it was cool. It's a neat sensation.
Seeing you do it, Dustin, was enough for me, man, because I got a good video out of it. No, we had a lot of fun.
It was a different recoil impulse. It's kind of a slow push. And it is almost fun. It is a fun kind of recoil.
I'll never
330 grains.
Yeah, 330
pushing 930 feet per second. They have the lower velocity ones. I mean, the lower grain ones, somewhere around the 200 grain region. We're pushing 1,200 feet per second. So you're going to get loud because you're breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah, you are, but. Yeah, it's
how cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, that's the thing about air guns is the innovations continue to grow. You don't need. I said this last night. You don't need a tax stamp. To
not a firearm.
It's not a firearm. And until they change that rule, which I hope they never do, I'm going to be owning air guns because I can get suppressed, integrally suppressed, so on and so forth. They call it in the air gun world moderators instead of suppressors, but that's the word since it's not.
Gotcha.
Have you ever heard that before, Ellermann? Moderators? I don't know. That seems like a silly name for a suppressor, but that's what they call it in the airgun world. But it's just, it continues to amaze me at the power that one of these guns can generate, and that it's lethal. And when I brought it first in my Hogs and Exotic with Air Guns story that I wrote back last March of 2017, people didn't believe it at first. They were like, "There's no way you could kill a hog or a deer or exotic deer, or whatever." Can't hunt native game with them yet, but they're trying to change that law, and there's a big lobby push going towards that for this next year. But basically, I'm just totally amazed at what's possible with air.
Yeah.
I mean, without fire entering the equation at all. I mean, there's some guys that specialize in nothing but air guns only,
pretty cool.
Which I think is kind of cool. So, anyway, anything else you want to add, Dustin?
Huh?
You've been a great guest like usual.
Well, we're leaving one thing out.
What's that?
What was the crossbows we were shooting?
Oh, Excaliber, of course. Forgive me. So, Excaliber crossbows, we were shooting their Assassin, 360 feet per second, up to 360 feet per second. They had some rubber, string silencers and that kind of stuff, stoppers and that kind of stuff on there that basically, brought it down a little bit. But you made a 90-yard shot.
Oh, sure, yeah. But here's the thing,
the crossbow bolt.
But it's a recurve crossbow.
A recurve crossbow, and that's what Excaliber is known for. This new Assassin has, it's what is the draw weight? I think 290 pounds. We talked about. This eliminates the worry about the draw. Because it's a crank system.
And a silent crank.
It's a silent crank, so you can, if you need to reload, get another shot off. And I've had to do that before in my blind because I'm a big crossbow hunter. But the innovations of that particular crossbow, and you're just getting into crossbows now, which I'm excited for because and I sent you some Grim Reaper broadheads because I really think. I think you're going to fall in love with it as much as you love shooting once you really get out there and,
it's crazy to be able to. I love the long range stuff. Now
90 yards? Are you out of your mind? You did it, though, dude.
Well, back up first because the cocking. They improved on the cocking system too, where it was safety wise, where it's not just a hold on to crank. What they did is it's kind of just like a hold on crank. You hold on with your hand, but they have a safety strap on the wrist, which made it at first I was like, is this just a bow release?
That's what I first thought myself. It was a bow.
Are you going to demo trying to pull it?
That's right. The first thing I thought of too, Dustin. Great minds think alike. But literally, I mean, it straps on your wrist, and you basically crank, and it keeps it from coming unwound.
Yeah.
And snap fire.
Yeah, unspin. So you can relax the string back down and just So that was kind of innovative again. But launching those bolts out to 90 yards was cool because the zero was just so it lobbing the booger. We're using those Luminox, and so it's broad daylight. You see this red knock fly about 8 feet over the target where and then just drop plumb right in the middle. It was slick.
That's what Ted Nugent and all the other outdoor riders out there call the mystical flight of the arrow. And I mean, once you really get that in your soul, that you're hopelessly lost, because I mean, just the crest of that arc is just. When you're in the woods hunting for a deer or a hog with that, and you see that thing take its time and slowly make it, and you see the deer, and then the deer, it gives the as Lou Murillo calls it, the oh crap face, I love archery, I always have, but the funny thing with that though is that we just finished a deal with Crossbow School, and then we did hunting school back this past summer and early fall. And Excaliber did their Destruction Challenge 2.0 and 1.0 on that page that we built for them. And they're feeding, I was just telling Dustin about this, they were feeding the crossbow to alligators. They were dropping it off of a 2-story building. They were doing all these things which you could not destroy an Excaliber crossbow because of the design of the recurve.
Because it's a recurve, huh? Yeah, you can't do that with a pulley system.
I wouldn't run over it with a truck. I wouldn't run over a compound bow with a truck, but that bow, I could see that. So
you know what I was thinking? You didn't see the view that I had, because I'm looking through like that 4X scope.
Sure.
And so it looked even cooler. What was those scope things we got? The phone scopes?
Yeah, those phone scopes. That would be cool to do a video.
In slow-mo.
In slow motion.
So you had 240 frames per second on your iPhone watching this bolt. Woo!
I love it.
That would look slick.
Dude, we got to do something like that.
Yes.
Even if it's on our own, in our own little archery ranges. But no, I really think, Dustin, you're going to fall in love with archery the more you get to, once you start harvesting some animals with it. I mean, y'all did some stuff on Top Shot with archery, didn't you?
We did, and I picked up my first crossbow after that.
Okay.
Because they're just...
Because y'all were shooting recurves, was it?
We did everything,
That was 2012. So
okay, my season, we shot recurves, bouncing arrows off of a ramp into a moving target. That was just ridiculous.
That was ridiculously hard.
When I went back for All-Stars...
That's right. I forgot you did All-Stars.
That's when I got to see Phil at the final challenge shoot the Bowtech crossbow, whatever that one was.
Yeah.
And he was like, this thing's awesome. It just goes wherever you point it. So I was like, I went back home and bought one. And it's kind of loud, but then I got that Raven last year.
Yeah, you got a Raven. You won a Raven, Dustin, the luckiest guy on the planet.
Well, yeah, I guess that was a year ago today.
That was a year ago today.
You popped the bullseye at 100 yards.
And I was like, if anybody's going to win anything, it's going to be this guy right here, not this guy right here. So, I'm happy that you did it. So you have a Raven, and you also got a GoPro as part of that deal too, didn't you?
Not that I remember.
You don't remember that?
I didn't get that.
Mind. It was just okay. Never mind. You just got a Raven. Then.
Where'd that GoPro go?
I don't know.
Did it go to you, Dustin?
It went to go. Yeah, the other Dustin. Yeah, I was wondering what that gift in the mail was. So no, that's cool. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this show. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Ellermann?
If you found my GoPro, please send it to me.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That's funny. Thank you so much for watching, reading, and listening. Have an awesome day in the outdoors. We'll see you next time.